Right, okay, what's going on, guys? Now, in today's video, I'm going to go through my fantasy football team. Now, I always change my mind like every week before the season starts. We've got 3 weeks until, just over 3 weeks until it starts. So there's going to be a lot of chopping and changing, but I thought I'd just share with you guys my team for now, just to see what you guys think, because obviously everyone's got a different team and it's all up for discussion. And so, yeah, let's get into it. Now, first of all, in goal this year, I've decided to go for Ederson. Now, reason I've gone for Ederson is because I feel like I need to get a Man City player in. I've found it very difficult getting any more Man City players in, because the problem I have with Man City is I don't like putting Man City defenders in, because Pep changes his team all the time. So, the player that you specifically pick might be on the bench, and then you lose points for the week, and it's a bit of a waste of a Man City player. And that applies for the midfield. You never really know who's going to get the nod, because Pep's got this amazing way of just knowing what kind of players can suit certain periods in the season. And as for Haaland, he's too expensive. I can't go for Haaland, because it's just, if you put Haaland in, that means that you're going to be weak in another area. And I think this is the year where I just have to trust other players. Even though there's no doubt Haaland's going to get points, he's going to get loads of points, but you've just got to trust the other players that you put in to make up for the points. So if you get two players who, if you buy them for half of Haaland's price, and you have two players for half of Haaland's price, and they get just as many points as Haaland, then you've already won. You've already won the situation. So, but I thought Ederson. Ederson plays every week, so it's a safe bet. Man City do like to keep clean sheets here and there, so I think Ederson's the only one who, if he doesn't leave, because if he does leave, I'm gonna have to think twice about this. But for now, because you can still change it. For now, I'm going to go with Ederson in goal. And if he does leave, I'll have to go for the Man City number one who they bring in. So that's my goalkeeper. And my three defenders. So I've gone with Trent this year, because I feel like Trent every single year will get you points. Liverpool won't get as many clean sheets as your Arsenals and your Cities, but Trent will get goals and assists. And I think even though he's the most expensive defender, there's a reason for it. There's a reason why he's so expensive, because Liverpool will get the odd clean sheet, but Trent will always be an option to give you a goal or an assist, and it just works. And I have to get an Arsenal player in defence, so Saliba's coming in. I think with Calafiori coming in, I've decided to go for Saliba and not Gabriel. Gabriel will play a lot of football, but I'm just wondering whether Arteta is going to rotate Gabriel in certain games, and I don't want to be putting players in my team who aren't first team, not that they aren't first team players, that aren't first name on the team sheet. I don't think you can really rotate Saliba much. I think he's too valuable to the team, whilst I think Calafiori might come in and rotate with Gabriel here and there. And Everton, you got to get an Everton defender in, so I've decided to go for Mykolenko. I was going to go for Pickford in goal, but I felt like, with Ederson and me knowing that Man City don't rotate goalkeepers, I decided to go for a defender, and Mykolenko is the guy who I've decided to go for. And Everton like to keep loads of clean sheets. They like to keep it very solid at the back with Sean Dyche, so that's my defence, and I think that's going to get me quite a few points. Now, onto the midfield. So, that is my midfield. I've got Jarrod Bowen. Now, Jarrod Bowen's a little bit of a risk, because he started last season really well. The first half of last season, he was getting goals, he was getting assists. And in the second half of last season, the goals and assists, they dried up. So, this is a bit of a risky one, because he's not in form, so to speak, but I've just got a feeling he's going to go into next season and he's going to pick it up, and he's going to be the same Jarrod Bowen we all know. And obviously Saka, I've got this thing where I have to get Saka in. Saka's just, he's not as expensive as Salah and Haaland. but he's still pretty expensive now. You know, he's him and Palmer, but I feel like he just guarantees you goals and assists. Same with Palmer. Palmer takes penalties as well. Saka also takes penalties, so it's not risky to put them two in. I think you know what you're going to get, and you're not spending too much. Like, it's not Salah and Haaland prices, so I think these two would definitely get me points. Now, the big wild one. So this one was tricky. So for this price, I had to go for Marcus Rashford. And this is the one player on my team who is going to be a risk. Now, the reason I'm putting Marcus Rashford in is, first of all, he wasn't that expensive. And I had to balance the books. And second of all, I think it's make or break for Marcus Rashford. He's on so much money. And he had such a disappointing season by his standards last year. And I just can't imagine him playing like he did last season. You know, he's one of these guys that has a history of having purple patches, periods where he plays really well, and then periods where he plays really bad. I think now it's his time to start playing really well. And it's a big risk. This could backfire. It's the only player on my team so far that is a massive risk. But you know, fantasy football is about taking risks sometimes, and I think Marcus Rashford, because he wasn't too expensive either, I thought I would just give it a go. And this is either going to really, really age well for me, or it's going to be an absolute fucking disaster. So, but there we are. You know, if you look at Rashford, he's not too expensive, so it's worth the risk, you know, so you're not gambling too much. So he completes my team for now. And finally, the three strikers. So Havertz. Listen, Havertz is just, towards the end of last season, he was in such good form. He's really solidified that striking position for Arsenal, and he's going to get a lot of goals and assists this season, so it had to be. And what I tried to do is I tried to get players who don't just get goals. You know, I like players who can get goals and assists, and you know, Havertz was that guy. Isak's a bit different. Isak doesn't really get many assists, but he gets a lot of goals and he takes penalties, so Isak had to be in. He's currently my captain because I think first game of the season against Southampton, he'll get a lot of points. I think he'll get a couple of goals in that game. So I've put Isak in my team. You know, very good season last year, and I think he'll kick on this year. Finally, Ollie Watkins. So Ollie Watkins had a wonderful season last year, and I think he's going to go from strength to strength. I think he'll get me loads of points, and he is destined to have a very, very good season, just as Isak did. So that's my team. My subs bench, I've gone with Fabianski. Fass from Leicester, he's on my subs bench because he's the cheapest defender you can get, and he'll play. You know, it's valuable. You know, so if any of my team miss out, I know that he can come in and he'll play because he starts for Leicester. So it wasn't too much of a risk. Barco, I've gone with for Brighton. Now Barco's gonna play more football next season for Brighton. So again, if Fass doesn't come in or any of my first team don't play, Barco can easily come in. And finally, Franca. Franca's a guy that will play. So my bench is filled up with players who will get game time regardless. And yeah, that's my team. It might change. If it does change, I'll have to do a follow-up video. You never know. Edison might leave or Rashford might leave. There's so much that's going to change in the next 3 weeks. Even Trent's linked with Real Madrid, so we don't know. But this is my team for now. Let me know what you guys think. Is there any holes in that team? And, well, first of all, I think the one that's going to divide opinion is Marcus Rashford. You know, there's a risky one on my part, but I think, you know, that's what I've gone with, and only time will tell whether that's going to age well. But yeah, thanks for watching. That was my fantasy football team. See you guys later.